welcome. You are listening to the Louie Minor Show. I'm your host, Bell County Commissioner Louie Minor. Today is July 5th, 2025. Welcome back. Happy belated 4th of July. And, we've been away for a little bit, been busy with budget and just everything going on. Like I said many times, that I am doing all this all by myself. I do have some interns this summer, so they're helping out and helping me catch up. But we are back. Got a lot to catch up on, and I will close out the show with a budget town hall that I did not too long ago, last week, I believe, with a bunch of residents at Texas A&M Central Texas. But we do have a budget meeting, a Commissioners Court meeting on Monday, July 7th. So let's get to the agenda real quick for that meeting. We have invocation, Pledge of Allegiance, consent agenda items, regular minutes of Monday, July 7th. Oh, that cannot be correct because we don't have those minutes yet. Then we have approval of the minutes of June 16th, 2025, budget personnel amendments, claims, accounts payable, payroll, restitution, and jury pay. Then we have for consent agenda, consider authorizing change order number 1 to the original agreement dated January 2nd, 2025 with Target Solutions to add new insulation, drywall, and laminated wall panels in the assembly hall at an additional cost of $153,326.08 with appropriate budget amendment. Ratify the submission of the FY25 Help America Vote Act HAVA election security grant application in the amount of $52,000 with a funding match in the amount of $10,400 for election security measures to the State of Texas Office of Secretary of State, designating Bell County Judge as the authorized official for the grant. Then consider approval to pay invoice milestone 6 from the City of Temple for the first cut over go live niche RMS at a budget amount of $64,585.42 for the Constable and Sheriff's Record Management System. Then we have a presentation, proclamations, and awards. Presentation and proclamation by Melissa N. Ganoli, Executive Director of Heart of Central Texas Alliance, on July 26, 2025, as the 35th anniversary of Americans with Disabilities Act. Then we have county engineers consider and approve the minor plat of Cerebro Edition, being a 2.78 acre, 2-lot, 1-block subdivision located in Precinct 2. Next item would consider and approve the final plat of Hackberry Ranchettes, being 52.807 acres, 10-lot, 2-block subdivision located in Precinct 2. Item C, consider and approve a minor plat of Salado 1.074 corner, being a 1.074 acre, 1-lot, 1-block subdivision located in Precinct 2. Item D, consider and approve a final plat of Stinnett Mills Estates, being Senate Mills Estate Phase 2, being a 28.19 acre, 36-lot, 5-block subdivision located in Precinct 2. Then item E, consider and approve the final plat of Casa de Rudez, being a 0.7904 acre, 1-lot, 1-block subdivision located in Precinct 3. And finally, for engineer, we have item F, consider and approve final plat of Watley Acres, replat number 1, being a 35.221 acre, 14-lot, 1-block subdivision located in Precinct 1. Now, regular agenda items. Consider and approve the retirement of Ron Luxinger, Secretary on the Bell County Youth Fair Executive Board. Consider and appoint Lindsay Strait to the Bell County Youth Executive Board. Item C, consider approval of a petition for voluntary annexation for a portion of Bob White Road into the city of Temple from Bell County as the owner of the adjacent 4.8607 acres of the right-of-way to the 702.0564 acre tract is also petitioning the city council to take appropriate action to annex the 4.8607 acres of right-of-way. Oh, that was a lot. Item D, consider authorizing the county judge to enter into a contract with Texas Custom Signs for the installation of security screens at the Loop Jail Tower for a cost not to exceed $35,529. Item E, consider authorizing the county judge to execute an interlocal agreement between Bell County and the City of Harker Heights for the regulation of subdivisions in the extraterritorial jurisdiction of Harker Heights. Item F, consider authorizing the county judge to execute an interlocal agreement between Bell County and City of Rogers for regulation of subdivision in the extraterritorial jurisdiction in the City of Rogers. Item G, consider the appointment of Bell County Commissioner Bobby Woodson as representative to serve on the K-Tempo TAT Board. Item H, consider the appointment of Amanda Organ, Director of the Salado Chamber of Commerce, to serve as the Development District of Central Texas Board. Item I, consider establishing a temporary regulatory construction speed limit on State Highway 195 in the unincorporated portion from 75 miles per hour to 60 miles per hour for the duration of the road improvement project by the Texas Department of Transportation pursuant to Texas Code 545.355. Item J, consider approval to cancel the July 21st, 2025 Commissioners Court meeting and workshop and reschedule the meeting to July 28th, 2025. K, consider authorizing the IT department to purchase security cameras, software, license, camera mounts, network cables, and SD cards from various vendors for the Temple Annex at an estimated cost of $9,915 with associated budget amendment. Then we have item L, closed session pursuant to Chapter 551.087 of the Texas Government Code to discuss or deliberate regarding commercial or financial information that the governing body has received from a business prospect that the government body seeks to have locate, stay, or expand in or near the territory of the governmental body and with which the governmental body is conducting economic development negotiations and or to deliberate the offer of a financial or other incentives to a business project. And I believe that is it for our regular agenda. Let's go to our workshop agenda now. We have, let's see, reports and updates from various county offices and departments, capital improvement projects, update on jail expansion and temporary jail facilities, Killeen Annex, FY 2025 CIP plan. Then we have submissions, discuss application to the FY 26-27 solid waste grant. Next item is discuss allowing JP4 Place 2 temporary hire a deputy clerk. Then we have discuss school resource officer contract renewal for Academy ISD. Discuss entering into a interlocal agreement with the City of Belton for document storage at Bell County Archives and review associated fees. Next item is discuss moving countywide phone system from Mitel to Cloud Solutions Ring Central. Next item is discuss and review the petition and request for the call for a general election relating to the Bell County Emergency Service District number 3. Next, discuss request from the Bell County Emergency Service District number 1 relating to office space for the Bell County Emergency Service District number 1 Fire Marshal. And then we have FY26 budget discussion. And that's all in the morning. I don't know if we're going to get to all that in the morning. Next item is in the afternoon, budget planning, implementation, budget follow-up hearing, and departmental update workshops at specifically listed times at a 9 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. in the Bell County Commissioners Court, July 14th, 9 a.m. to 12 and 1:30 to 5 budget discussions. And that is all of our meetings. We do have some meetings that the commissioners may not attend. We had July 4th yesterday. Everyone attended that one. July 17th, we have the Power of Us presented by Bell County Juvenile Services at SitCog. July 21st through 24th, we have the North and East County Judge and Commissioners Association Convention Conference. That's in Waco. Then July 30th, we had Children's Advocacy Center. I don't know what they're doing there. But that is everything on the agenda for this coming Monday. So thank you. Next, like I told you earlier, I did a budget town hall, kind of explained to the people. I also posted it, did a Facebook Live event with it. So I was able to get information out there so people can hear and understand and kind of understand what the process is that we go through and decisions we're making. So I want to play that for you. I hope you enjoy it. And we will see you maybe next week. I am going to the National Association of Counties annual conference. That's going to be in Philadelphia. I'll be leaving on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday, the 10th, and should get back by the 14th or 15th. But I'll definitely want to do some interviews while I'm there and talk to some people and hopefully be able to share those with you whenever I get back. So enjoy the Budget Town Hall, and we will see you next week. Yeah, it's good right now. It's good enough. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get started, and as people trickle in, they'll be able to settle down and settle in. Welcome. My name is Louie Minor, Bell County Commissioner for Precinct 4, and I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to come here and hear about the budget that we're currently working on at Bell County. That's going to affect your property taxes here, and I need input from you to see what is important to you and what you think is not important as we make decisions on our property taxes. First, I want to thank Texas A&M Central Texas for allowing us to use this space, this beautiful space. They've always been helpful and with the county and any requests that I have. So thank you, Texas A&M. So I wanted to start, just give you a little update on, this is our mission statement for the county. I also want to take a moment before we get too far into it, is I want to thank my two interns from University of Texas, Elliot and Lily. Lily put all this stuff together, slides, working with me. So thank you, Lily, for all this. So this is our mission statement. The government of Bell County, Texas exists to promote and sustain a superior quality of life in Central Texas. In partnership with communities and citizens, we pledge to deliver cost-effective services in a personal, responsive, and innovative manner. Now, it's that innovative manner is the thing that I like to focus on, because sometimes we forget about that. This is Bell County, and this is the precinct maps for the county commissioners. In Bell County, well, in every county in Texas, you only have 4 county commissioners, regardless of the size of the county, and 1 county judge, and that makes up your commissioner's court. So these are the boundaries. If you want to know who your commissioner is, my name is Louie Minor. I'm Commissioner 4. And then you can see the boundaries for all the other ones. This is your commissioner's court right here. We got County Judge David Blackburn, Precinct 1 County Commissioner Russell Snyder, Precinct 2 County Commissioner Bobby Whitson, Commissioner 3 Greg Reynolds. So these are the people that will be making decisions on your county tax rate and priorities that we're going to be. And you only need 3 votes to make something happen at the county level. So just FYI, so you know that the magic number is 3. So these are some of the highlights that we're going to go over. You'll see these same things on the agenda that I gave to you. What I want to do is just do this presentation. It's going to be about 30 minutes for this part. And then I want to hear from you, questions that you might have or any ideas that you might have as well of what we can do at the county to make Bell County better. So we'll be going over the county jail, the Killeen Annex and Temple Annex, the population in Bell County, where we're starting with our tax rate, the budget that we're currently working on, and then all the budget requests that we got in for this year. So you can see decisions that we have to make and where we got to cut and where we're going to spend. And then we'll talk about the disabled veteran, surviving spouse tax exemption, some of the other things that we're mandated by law to pay for. And then I wanted to end it talking about a county hospital district and emergency service districts in the county. Does anyone have any questions? Feel free. I want this to be interactive. If you have any questions, you can stop and ask them at that time. So this is the Killeen Annex. We did a groundbreaking last week. A lot of people showed up there. Thank you for those that came. It's going to open in fall of 26. So the timeline that I've seen says September. So that's when we're kind of looking to be opening the doors there. So it's going to be about 14-month turnaround. The project award costs $9,853,590 that the county is investing in downtown Killeen. So why is that important? You know, I think it's part of the comprehensive plan. I was on the comprehensive plan committee whenever it was started. So we did a historical look, and government investment, a government node has always been in downtown. So it's good that Bell County is the one starting this consolidation there. It's going to be over 28,000 square feet, and that'll move everything, just almost everything off of Priest Drive onto Gray Street right now. The only thing that's really going to stay on Priest Drive is the adult probation. Everything else is going to move. The help center will be there too. The help center is staying where it's at. Temple Annex. So I have a lot of question marks here on the Temple Annex. I'm not working on this, but we currently have a renovated Temple Annex now. It's an older building, but we did renovations on it a couple of years ago. The city of Temple wants it. I don't know why. I'm sure other people will do. So what the city of Temple offered to do is to find us a new location and to give us some money to build a new Temple Annex. So I think it's around $4 to $5 million. Don't hold me to that. I don't know exactly how much it's going to cost that they're giving us, but it's supposed to be cost neutral. It's not going to cost us anything. because City Temple is supposed to cover all these costs. There might be some costs here and there that the county will have to absorb, but we're going to get a new annex out of it. So currently, right now, the annex is on Central. I think it's on Central downtown, off Central, in Temple. Yeah. The proposed location is going to be off of MLK. So you know where the MLK Fairgrounds is in Temple. It's going to be right across the street from that. Like I said, I don't know a lot about that. I do know they're working on plans for it. I do know that it will probably be going out to bid the end of this year, beginning of next year, and they'll be starting construction. So it is in the works. Yes, ma'am. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah, we're getting there. So that's the Temple Annex. We're getting new Killeen Annex, new Temple Annex. I think it's both. Both are great things. Precinct 2, Salado, they got a new annex a couple of years ago. And so everything in the county, at least for the annexes, will be new for our residents. Yes, ma'am. Yes, they are moving the location. The current annex where Temple is at, we're going to give that to the city of Temple. What they're doing with that, I don't know. But they're going to build the county a new annex off of MLK Street. Oh, decades. I don't know. I don't know exactly how long the Temple Annex has been there, but it's been there for a long time. Yeah. So this is the population in Bell County. You know, every 10 years we have to do the census, and in 2020 Bell County's population was 300, little over 370,000. In 2025, it's over 404,000 now. So that's, according to my math that I did prior to this meeting, that's over 34,000 residents to Bell County in just under 5 years. So that's a lot of people moving here, a lot of people needing water, electricity, housing, jobs. So those are the things that we look at and what we try to think about, try to do some long-term planning. Oddly enough, the county doesn't have a long-term plan. We don't have long-term plans like cities do. City by law, they're required to have a comprehensive plan for every 10 years. The county does not. We could, but that's something that we would have to make a decision on and vote on, and at least get 3 votes to do it. So this is, did I skip the jail? Okay, here we go. I'm sorry. You're right. Because yeah, we got a little bit too. Okay, now we went back to the jail expansion. The jail expansion is behind schedule. It was supposed to be open already, but it's not. It's going to happen. Schedules move here and there, but I think we're a little bit further behind than what we were anticipating. But it is what it is. So for our budget that we're currently working on now, we authorized 66 new jail positions, and that was to fully staff the new jail. The new jail expansion is almost 600 new beds coming online. Currently, we're at around 1,200 beds, so we'll have a total of 1,902 beds for the jail whenever it opens. Now, you're probably thinking the same thing I thought whenever I voted on this budget, is we don't have 1,912 inmates. Currently we only have 1,200 inmates in the jail, roughly. So what is all that excess capacity is gonna go for? That's why I voted against this budget, the current budget that we're working on. The Commissioner's Court, they want to turn our jail into a private prison and lease out jail space. Now that decision was made. We have to work. I want to make sure our employees are successful and safe. So I want to make sure that they have the tools that they need to be safe and do their job. So the decision was made that this is what we're going to do. So I have to support our employees now. Just taking that for what it's worth. The jail medical cost, that has exploded. So our last company that we had work for the county that did jail medical turnkey, they quit on us. They said it's our contract does not account for this. That I guess they underbid, so they canceled their contract. We had to go out for a new contract. That new contract came in at $8,752,000, a 52% increase from the prior year when turnkey was in charge. That's a lot of money that wasn't accounted for in the budget. We had to go into fund reserves to cover that, but it's not going to be covered under fund reserves this year. They're going to go to the taxpayers to cover that cost. Yes, sir.
Is that going to be cost effective in, say, 5 years of breakdown? That medical 5 years?
No, it goes up every year. Yeah, it goes up every year. We have a 5-year contract with them, so every year it'll go up. And it'll go up as the population grows in the jail, because the population isn't going to go to 1,900 overnight. You know, there's benchmarks that, you know, after 1,400 inmates, 1,500 inmates, that contract will grow. Melissa, you had a question? We could, and the reason why I say that is because there are some people that get arrested that have prior charges of other things that will not make them eligible for a PR bond. They should be able to get a commercial bond, but not a PR bond, a personal recognizance bond, one that the county would do. So yes, they could be arrested and charged and being held in Bell County Jail for simple marijuana possession. To my understanding, I don't think the city of Killeen is arresting people for simple marijuana possession. I know there's some here and there, but I kind of track it a little bit, but I haven't seen a whole lot of arrest. No, they don't want to hold anyone in jail, and they're trying to get people out of jail as quickly as possible. That's based off of our current population of about 1,300. It should open up this summer. I do have that figure based off of it, but I don't have it in the slide. But I could get it to you of what it would be based off of the population of the jail. So, okay. Randy?
How much revenue is going to be made?
We don't know. We don't have any contracts in place. I do know the judge said he's talked to other counties that are eager. He mentioned they mentioned $100 a day, $110 a day. I haven't seen anything like that. The state average is $75 a day. I really don't see counties in Texas wanting to pay Bell County a premium because we have a new jail. You know, I don't see it. You know, Harris County is mentioned. Harris County, the largest jail in the county, obviously, because it's the largest county in the state. They're shipping inmates to, or not inmates. They're shipping people that are in jail, Harris County Jail, to I think Mississippi. But they're only paying $75 a day. Like I said, I don't know if they're going to do it in Bell County for over 100. But so the total cost of our jail expansion is $101 million. Most of that was ARPA money. $63 million of that was ARPA money, American Rescue Plan money. You know, a lot of counties and cities did some innovative things with ARPA money, but not Bell County. Bell County decided to put all that in a jail. And I went to a Conference of Urban Counties meeting not too long ago where the director for the Texas Department of Criminal Justice that's in charge of all of our state prisons said that is the last thing counties should be doing is looking at building a jail because there's so many other options out there to do before. That should be an option of last resort is to build a jail. But obviously, I don't think we consulted with him. Scott.
We're about 1,200 inmates right now. About how many years during the study of growing around?
I don't know that answer. That it might have been given at one point in time during that process. This decision was made way before I got into office, but I mean, you know, we're at 400,000 now, and we're at 1,300 inmates. So I guess we could kind of do the math on something like that. Miss Sandra.
Do you have any idea of the population, age population with housing now? Or
I don't have that. I can get it for you, and so all these questions that they're asking, well, let's make notes of it, and we'll have to get responses for those. Brandy.
Operating cost. What have they talked about? What is the estimated operating cost of this building?
No, I mean it's in the millions. I can tell you that. I mean,
Will we have paid for it?
no, I don't think so. They're expecting a profit, quote unquote, profit by leasing out jail space. They're forecasting it to cover our expenses, but one lawsuit will get rid of any type of profits. You know, one wrongful death suit, because they're going to sue the county that inmate came from, and they're going to sue Bell County, and they're going to sue the sheriff, they're going to sue the commissioner's court, and you know, most likely they'll probably settle. So it will cost money. Melissa?
What are we getting?
For the medical, I mean they're considered indigent, so we're required by law to provide medical. I mean they're getting basic services. If there's anything life threatening, obviously we send them to Scott and White. We got to send a deputy there with them, and so any type of treatment like that. If they're on dialysis when they come to us, they got, you know, we have to get that. If they're on HIV medication, we got to give them that. Cancer treatment, we got to do all that stuff if they come to us like that. I can't tell you on circumstances like that, the county does what it can to send them home because they don't want to cover that cost.
For those then being called to trial, if they come in and have medical insurance, are we able to build the insurance services while they're housed in our
No, because they're considered indigent when they come. I don't think there's a mechanism for us to do that. It might be something that we could look at with the law. But I think as of right now, I'm not aware of any circumstances where we recover costs from people that have medical insurance. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I I have an idea for jail medical cost, and we'll cover it here in a little bit. Okay, so any other questions on the jail before we move on? Okay, because I know that's important. And once we do open it up, I want to let you know that we will do an open house. So if you want to come see what $101 million looks like, I'm pretty sure that we're going to put it out in the paper and all that stuff. All right, here's our popular. Okay, so this is what we're working with now. This is our budget that we have now that we adopted. Your tax rate, a combined tax rate of 0.3445 cents per $100 valuation. That was a big increase. We went over the no new revenue rate. And for those that don't know what the no new revenue rate is, simply put, it's bringing in the same amount of money that we did last year with usually it's a lower tax rate because values of the property increase. So we can lower the tax rate and still make the same amount of money. So that's in essence what the no new revenue rate is. And then we have what's called a voter approved rate. Anything above that number has to go to the voters for it to get approved. Cities, counties, they don't like doing that. They like, because if it fails, then we have to automatically go to the no new revenue rate. So they try to stay under that voter approved rate, but there are instances where they went to the voters. Harris County did it after their hurricanes and derechos and flooding. They went above the no new revenue rate or the voter approved rate, and it got approved by the voters. So what the county likes to do is to start out at the no new revenue rate. So that's what we started out working with this budget year. You know, how much are we going to bring in with the no new revenue rate? And then all the outside agencies, all the elected officials, all departments, they send in their budget requests. And then we start going through those. But, you know, we still have to do business during the year. And during the year, things come up that we have to amend this budget. And that's usually an increase on what we're spending. So I had the auditor pull together how much budget amendments have we done already this year. So we're already about to be 7 months in. Well, actually, we're over that because the budget year starts in October. Oh, and also before we get to that, 1 penny, 1 cent on the county that the county assesses equals about $3.5 million. Just so you know. So every penny that the county increases your taxes, it's about $3.5 million to Bell County. This is a total, if you see at the top right, that's the total of all the budget amendments that we've done so far this year. Some of the stuff, it's covered by insurance, but we pay it up front, and the insurance will reimburse us once we get that settlement. So a lot of these things are one-time things. Like the first one, we hired a new contract manager, and there was a couple of months that we hired him early to start learning because the other one retired. You know, that's $34,000. That's not reoccurring. The medical costs, that will be reoccurring. If you look at the very bottom or close to the bottom, number 13. We added some new district attorneys. That will be an ongoing cost. So Some of these things are one-time costs. Some of them are ongoing costs. But just for the budget so far, what we've done this year, it's $2.9 million. So almost a penny, almost a penny. So that's where we're starting, the budget from. These are our current budget request totals that we got from outside agencies, from departments and other elected officials. Personnel requests, $4.5 million of departments and elected officials saying, hey, I need new jailers, I need new deputies, I need new clerks, those type of things. I need new deputy constables. It's just, we're a growing county. We ask a lot of our employees. And when we don't fund these requests, we're asking our employees to do even more, without any help and without any additional pay. So those are things that we have to decide which ones are going to get approved and which ones are not going to get approved. Capital requests, that's like equipment. Whenever we hire a new deputy, they got to ride around in something. So we got to buy a vehicle. And those vehicles ain't cheap. A Tahoe alone for the county outfitted is like $90,000 for one. And that's very expensive. So those are the things that affect the budget. And those are the things that we're going through line item for, for personnel, for equipment, and saying yes or no to our elected officials and department heads. Capital improvement projects, that's a big number. That's not all stuff we're trying to do this budget year. These are things that we have to put and plan for 5 to 10 years out. So some of the things on the capital improvement project are the Killeen Annex, that's in that number. The Temple Annex, we're looking at, expanding the animal shelter. We're looking at building a new juvenile facility. All those things are wrapped in that number. There's a lot of IT stuff in there. Bell County is responsible for the 911 center, at least all the capital stuff. So those are all things that are in that number. Road and bridge equipment, tractors, dump trucks, all those things, all those requests are in there. So it's a total of $208 million that, we got to pick from and what we're going to spend. What the judge likes to do is to do a percentage of our tax revenue and put it to CIP projects. So we could kind of, start biting at the apple, taking that bite of the apple. This year, we had our bonding company come and talk to us, and they said even if we stay at the no new revenue rate, we can get an additional $20 million in debt certificates of obligation. So that just means we've been paying off debt, and if we stay at the same rate, we could go ahead and take out $20 million. So we're most likely going to do that because like I said, it's not going to cost us anything. And then start probably taking out some of these CIP projects. Engineer building is one that I think that we're going to be doing, a new engineer building, and selling the one that we're currently in, because Belton likes all the downtown stuff to be on the tax rolls and to be little shops and stuff. I have the list up here of CIP and personnel requests. So if any of y'all want to see them and look to see who's asking for what, I personally want more deputies on the road. You know how many deputies we have on the road at any given time in Bell County? A county of over 400,000 people? Three. And I think that's our citizens deserve more. I know since I've been elected that the sheriff has asked for more every time. I've always supported those requests, but we don't have a majority of people to. Remember, we need 3 votes to give the sheriff more road deputies. He has a lot of jailers, and his number is very big already if you look at his budget. So, there's always hesitation to give him more. But, I have constituents all the time that tell me I never see a deputy, and they live out in the country. So I want to try and add more
at least two deputies per district. I think there's 3 districts. So, but it's going to cost money. It's going to cost money. Yes. If we stayed at the no new revenue rate, we would still be eligible for the $20 million in debt. No, I don't think it would. I don't think it would. I'm not a bond expert, but if we could cover it with the same tax rate that we're doing now, I don't see why it would increase, in future years. But I don't know. It's a good question. I could definitely ask that question. So, anyways, we have to do something with the $20 million. So maybe you can help me figure that out. So this is our disabled veteran exemption here in Bell County. You see, last year we had over 15,000 people in Bell County that are, I guess, I don't think that's 100% disabled veterans. I'm 50%, so I'm sure I would be in that number somewhere. But the total effect on Bell County's tax rate is 4 cents. We got $2.5 million this year from the comptroller's office, and we lost what, 14 million. So I mean, there's a significant loss in property taxes revenue from, and the state's supposed to reimburse us. And they were trying to raise that this year, and I'm sure Scott could talk about that in more detail than I can. But one of our state representatives locally added, because there's only a couple of entities that are eligible. I think it was like 11 or 12. They got 3 more added: Parker Heights, Lampasas, and Nolanville, which they're all deserving. I'm not saying that they don't deserve it, but the state did not increase the allotment. So what does that mean for Bell County? What does that mean for Killeen? Our allocation is going to go down because now there's more people, more entities drawing from that bucket of money. So we're going to go down in that money. And I would assume that count of veterans getting that exemption is going to continue to increase. So you got anything on that?
You explained it really well. And it's tough to watch state say, yes, we need to add more cities for reimbursement. Then people can add $500 million.
Right. And the House version, I think, had a whole lot more money. I think almost $90 million. Yeah. Yeah. So.
And I think that translates to
Right. Right. And so, I mean, I know the county, I know cities, every legislative year, they try and go out and champion that. And we'll just have to try again. We'll have to try again to get that raised. So this is some of the other services that the state imposes on counties to cover. Disabled veteran, you see that there. Indigent health care. We're going to talk more about indigent health care in a little bit. But right now, we're required by law to dedicate 8% of our budget to indigent health care. So, and part of the indigent health care is in the jail. So that number is in there. But also, we give $500,000 to the Killeen Community Clinic to service indigent healthcare population, and we give $525,000 to the Killeen Clinic and $525,000 to the Temple Clinic to help care and manage our indigent healthcare population in Bell County. You see all the other exemptions and costs that the county has to do. You see that bottom one, law judge salary increase. There's going to be another salary increase for district judges this year. They passed a law to raise the judges' pay. It was one of the last things that they did. There's always been a hesitation to raise district judge pay because it's tied to the retirement of state legislators. So they don't want to look like they're giving themselves a pay raise because even though they don't make a lot of money while they're in office, when they retire, they make the same retirement as a district judge. So anyway, but that cost is going to come to the counties to bear. So the total of all these things for at least this budget year, $32 million, $32.4 million. Now, when I talked about the indigent healthcare, it's very important to remember we are getting taxed for it already. We are already paying property taxes for our indigent healthcare. 8% of our budget by law has to go to that. But there's another way of doing things. Other larger counties have county hospital districts. Smaller counties have county hospital districts. And I think that's something that we need to take a look at, doing a county hospital district in Bell County. It has to be approved by the voters. So that's something that we would be voting on. And then there's 3 statutes that cover the creation of a hospital district. Chapter 281, it's a board that is appointed by the Commissioner's Court. And I think it could be 7 to 11. It varies by the size of the county, of how many board members you can have, but they're set by the county Commissioner's Court. Harris County, our largest hospital district in the county, it's called Harris Health. Their board is appointed by the Commissioner's Court. They're a over $1 billion, hospital district, but they set the tax rate for the hospital district and they set the budget. The Commissioner's Court approves it or disapproves it. They have no say-so over the budget and no say-so over the tax rate other than thumbs up or thumbs down. So they can't do line item vetoes. They can't do anything like that. Chapter 283, it would be the Commissioner's Court serving as the board of the hospital district. I don't think anyone wants that. We are not healthcare experts, and I think people running a hospital district sitting on that board should be somewhat knowledgeable on healthcare. And then the last one is an elected board. So that one has a high threshold. The first 2, you only need 100 signatures on a petition to force a vote on a vote to the voters. The last one, I think you need 3% of registered voters in the county. That's about 8,000, 9,000 signatures to create an elected position for the hospital district. So the hospital district, they would cover indigent healthcare. They would be responsible for everything that the county is doing now for indigent healthcare. The opposite, or something different that the hospital district can do that the county's not doing, or the cities, is public health. Right now we contract with the public health district, and if you saw, they closed a facility in Temple. They're losing federal funding, and to me, the hospital district is like the hop. When budgets are constrained, when federal dollars are constrained, entities that are paying in, they're going to be paying less and less. So those are less and less services for our residents. So everything that the public health district does now, a hospital district can do. And then the same thing with jail medical. The jail medical would fall under the hospital district. So I think the hospital district is an answer for these rising costs. We can't go over 3.5% of the tax rate from this year to the next. So we're capped. And there's efforts in Austin to even reduce that more. They want to do any tax increase to be voter approved. Anything over the no new revenue rate, they want it to be voter approved. Counties, cities cannot operate like that. They tried that this legislative session. I think they'll try it again. But what this will do is shift the burden of indigent health care from the county to the hospital district. And that would free us of that 8% requirement. Another thing that we do with healthcare in the county is we tax all healthcare. A lot of people don't know that. But here in Bell County, it's called the Local Provider Participation Fund. It started in 2016, but we put a 6% tax on all healthcare in the county. And we do that at the request of the hospitals. They ask us to do that. Now, they pay it, the hospitals pay it, because they get 1.5 times their money back from the federal government. So that's kind of a workaround. Medicaid, the expansion, this is their workaround for that. But right now at the federal level, they're trying to cut, it's called LPPF. They're trying to cut LPPF. They're also trying to cut Medicaid, Medicare benefits and who's eligible. So I think there's going to be a bigger shift of medical and indigent care to counties. Cities are not responsible for it. It's the county that's responsible for indigent health care. One of the things right now that the LPPF allows us to do is to subsidize indigent programs. That's what the law says, subsidize indigent programs. Historically, here the LPPF, Baylor, Scott, and White, they come and say, hey, I want you to tax us. County commissioners say yes, and that's it. We funnel the money to the federal government, to the state, and funnel it back. And it's just been a circle with Baylor, Scott, and White, and the other hospitals in the county. But when I started looking into the law, it says that they have to do more things to us. They have to give us their financials. They have to let us know what they're spending it on. And whenever I asked for it, the county never had it before. So I asked for these reports that they have to give to the state, and Baylor, Scott, and White and all of them started giving them to me. It covers, the LPPF is good. It's supposed to cover their uncompensated care. So, when you go to the hospital, if you don't have medical insurance, if you don't have, if you're an immigrant, they can't turn you down. They have to provide you care. And that uncompensated care is supposed to be taken care of through the LPPF. They said since Bell County has started participating in LPPF, we've got $500 million back from the federal government in LPPF. That provision of LPPF where it talks about subsidizing indigent health programs, no one knows what that means. No other county has used it. No other, well, if you have a hospital district, you could do your own LPPF, so you don't have to go after that money. But so I brought it up to Baylor, Scott, and White in a meeting last week. What does that mean to them? What does subsidizing indigent programs mean to them? They said they have to talk to their lawyers first. So I think there's room there for us to get $4 million out of the LPPF and help pay for our jail medical so we don't have to increase your taxes. That's what I'm looking to do with LPPF. The judge told Scott and White and their representatives, it wasn't an attorney, I think it was some type of firm that represents LPPFs, to figure out what they think subsidizing indigent health programs mean, and then come talk to us. So that's, we're working on that to see about lowering the costs of our indigent health care, our jail medical, so it doesn't affect the county taxpayer. You had a question in the back?
Well, the average $100 valuation. My state constitution, my state constitution, it can be as much as 75 cents. So starting with zero,
Mm-hmm.
start off with a bond, like that revenue, money back a bond, facility, looking at different tax for a facility. And then on top of that, in a hospital district also charge similar to LP, but they can charge their own LP and just add it on to the hospital district. There's no way that the county can order that 75 cents will not get. Nor is there any way to compensate for this year going forward that whatever that offset is that we're paying the hospital district, either that will come off the county roll or it will go to another that it benefits everyone. And again, even if the hospital district tax, you're 100% disabled, you still don't.
So we have almost $8 million that we're paying for indigent health care. The county is paying. In uncompensated care last year, we paid $180 million. So to me, I think that's a little bit more the true cost of indigent health care here in Bell County, $188 million. So what does that look like in a tax rate? Probably 30, 40 cents. So if you, and there are provisions in the law in creating a hospital district that you can do a bond election at the same time. But that's going to be something for the voters to decide. The Commissioner's Court can call for an election on its own. I don't know if they would do that, if we would do that. I don't think I have 3 votes for that. But like I said, all it takes is a petition of 100 signatures, Bell County registered voters, to force an election on a hospital district. Sure.
Has this individual proposed to CCI in the hospital district and understands to not be that or two.
Right.
What is the other alternative?
For
The backup plan? Don't have a hospital.
to do what we're doing now. The status quo. I mean, it's going to get passed down one way or the other, either through uncompensated care, or as the budget increases, because we increase value of our property, then that 3.5% or that 8% of our budget, it'll increase every year because property values increase. But outside of that, I don't see doing more.
I asked.
Mm-hmm.
But after that would allow county bill, as long as the person county not federal benefit, we can bill. So I think maybe one of the ways would be further on
Mm-hmm.
how it's rolled out, collecting. I'm having a hard time.
Yeah. VA won't pay anything. They won't provide any medication. Same thing with TRICARE. They won't pay anything. They won't provide medication. So if you're an active duty soldier, if you're a disabled veteran, and you get put in the Bell County Jail, you're not going to get any medication. We got to give it to you. Even though you have a brand new bottle with VA on it and it hadn't been opened, the jail says you could bring it in, but it's not going to be right away.
benefits do they cover?
I don't know. That's a good question that we can ask. But I think technically, if you're in jail, like your benefits stop. Um, but that's something that we can check. Scott, did you have a question?
I'm always apprehensive when we do taxes, but I applaud looking at systemic level ways tax burden.
Mhm.
I think you said right now the local provider patient tax they collect it say we don't really get it tax, but somehow we're able to get more federal funds.
Correct. So covers uncompensated care.
Does Bell County actually get that tax back?
No, it goes to the hospitals. So we have to we assess the tax now, and I got into it with Baylor Scott and White. They're like, oh, we pay it. I'm like, okay. It doesn't matter who pays it, whether you pay it or the patient pays it. That we're levying a tax on healthcare. Now y'all opt to pay it. You decide to pay it so you can get that money back. But if you didn't pay it and we assessed it, you would have to collect it from the patient. So to me, that money should be used for, help offset, subsidize our indigent healthcare program. Because if we do that, then that's going to help lower our tax rate. So at least in the immediate, we could do that in the immediate. Was there another question over here?
Well, I was going to say, so patients that are disabled, they're considered indigent. Would Medicaid, not Medicare, Medicaid reimburse the hospital for the services?
Right now, they reimburse the county. So if we get someone new and they're eligible for indigent health care, what they try to do is get them on Medicaid, Medicare. If they're approved, they will reimburse us all the money that we've spent on them. So anytime someone new comes into the indigent healthcare program and they are a U.S. citizen, that's one of the first things that we try to do is get them qualified on one of these other things, because we will get reimbursed, and we do get reimbursement money from them. Any other questions on hospital districts? Okay. The last thing I want to talk about is ESDs, emergency service districts. They're created by voters and funded by property taxes. So emergency service districts are out in the rural parts of the county. If you're in the city limits, you don't have to worry about it because you pay for fire service, ambulance service already. But if you don't, right now in the county, well, until a couple of years ago, everything was volunteer. And we had all the VFDs that performed services for many years, serving the residents of Bell County. But that model is changing. What's changing that is the county's growing, the need is growing, and the county doesn't fund fire services and emergency services properly. Right now, Bell County only has one contract for one ambulance out in the entire county. Does that make sense? It doesn't. And we've been dependent on the city of Killeen here on the west side of the county to take care of all the ambulance service. And that's what we've been doing. And that's been great. That's been working well for the county for many, many years. But it's not now, because the city of Killeen said they're not going to service Turnbow Ranch. Turnbow Ranch, I drove through it today. There's tons of houses out there now. I mean, just not even a year ago, there were 0 houses out there. There's probably 100+ houses out there in some form of construction. So that city of Killeen said they're not going to service them. So right now, if they have an ambulance, the need for an ambulance is going to come from Nolanville or Salado. That's it. And to me, I think that's not going to work. Southwest Bell Fire, that covers that area, they don't have an ambulance. So, an ESD would be able to handle fire and ambulance service. It's needed. Like I said, we're a growing county. A lot of the other ESDs that were created so far, they have not included ambulance service because you have to include that in your petition of the services that you want to provide. So if you want to look up the statute, it's Chapter 775 of the Health and Safety Code for the creation of emergency service district. We're hold on, we're getting there. We're getting there. So right now we have ESD 1. It was the first one created in 2020, and that's Salado. The Salado Volunteer Fire Department and the city of Salado, to my understanding, if I think correctly, they opted to become Bell County's first ESD. They've been there for a couple of years. That is their tax rate right now for the ESD. I think it could go up to 15 cents if I remember correctly. So that's where they're at, and that's I don't think Salado provides ambulance service because an ambulance can cost about $500,000 just for the box, and then you got to put the EMT and the paramedic and all that stuff and staff it 24 hours, 7 days a week. So you're talking money, but this is services that we expect. If you're out here in Turnbow Ranch and you have a heart attack or some type of medical, you don't want to wait 35, 40 minutes for an ambulance to come reach you. You'll be dead. And I don't want that to happen when we could do something about it. So this is ESD number 1 that was created. We have ESD number 2 that was created last year by the voters. Now there's still some, we don't know the exact boundaries of where it was, because the city of Troy was supposed to be in the ESD, but they opted out of it. So we're trying to figure out exactly where the ESD is, but it's kind of in the northern Bell County, that light purplish blue area. North Bell County is the ESD number 2. So, how much money is the county paying for fire and ambulance? Do you think? We're 400,000 people. How much do you think that we're paying for that? You said 0 in the back. It's a little bit more than 0, but okay, we'll get there in a second. ESD 3. There's talks right now. We had a petition that came into Bell County this year to create ESD 3. What is going to be ESD 3? Nolanville, Sparta, and Stillhouse. That's going to be Three Creeks. 3 Creeks out there off of 1670. All that area is going to be an ESD if it gets approved by the voters in November. There was some stuff wrong with their petition, so we denied it, but there's still time for them to fix it, and I fully anticipate them to bring that corrected petition to us, because we have until mid-July or early August to call for an election. So another ESD in Bell County. If you go to Williamson County, Travis County, there's ESDs everywhere. So just so you know, this isn't something that's new or novel. It happens in growing communities because the county cannot afford to pay for the services that are needed because we're capped, at 3.5% tax increase. ESD 4, that's something that I'm looking to do. That would be in the lighter blue portion, right here in the lower left-hand corner. That's Southwest Bell currently now. They would still exist. Southwest Bell wouldn't go away, but an ESD would be created in that service area. And that's what I'm looking to bring to citizens. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Yeah, Salado Volunteer Fire Department still exists. They didn't go away. They work with the ESD. Oh, yeah. No, they wouldn't go away. The ESD is still there. I would imagine Sparta Volunteer Fire Department will still be there. They could incorporate into the ESD, or they could, still be a volunteer fire department. Yes, ma'am. Property tax. There would be an additional property tax. Yes. Yes. So, but what is your health and safety, worth to you? That's what you got to think about. Are you willing to keep the status quo and wait 45 minutes for an ambulance to come get to you, or you want the ambulance there in 10? That's the decisions we're going to have to make here in the distant future, not so distant future. Yes, ma'am.
I want to support you. Primarily because, yes, it is a much lower cap, but also the only individual taxes for it, yes, we are properly within that.
Correct. And they would be the ones voting for it.
Right. So as a citizen in the incorporated limits of money, I don't pay anything for that would go out itself. He does have a good providing services as well,
Mm-hmm.
and because of our contract
Right.
we have with them. And would if they'd be willing to find it. I know that's kind of where we have technicality,
Mm-hmm.
how much for service that'll be reimbursed for that.
Yeah.
But because Sunbelt is their own tax, they would have
Right.
to.
So real quick, let me just finish off with, I asked you a question of how much does the county pay for fire and ambulance service out in the rural parts of the county? That's the number right there. The number that's on there, $575,000. That's how much we pay all the volunteer fire departments. We give them a little bit of money, and it doesn't go to them just like Steelhouse. You get X number of dollars. It's based off of runs. So how many times they get called out and they go, that's what it's based off of. So we have that pot of money there. 100,000 of that is for grant matches. So you could take 100,000 out of that, and that's actually what we're paying them. That 100,000 helps them buy equipment and vehicles. So that's what that money's for. So they don't get a lot of money, and I think they are under funded, and they'll never be able to catch up to the need. They can't have enough bake sales to catch up to the need to be able to buy a $500,000 ambulance or $1 million fire truck. So we have to look at other ways to fund that, and that's going to be through property taxes. So that's about all that I have. The main thing is I wanted to engage with y'all. I wanted to let y'all know what our budget is looking like. I wanted you to know the requests that are coming in, and decisions that we're going to have to make. And I wanted input from y'all. So thank y'all for coming out. Are there any other questions? No, not really. Other than at the juvenile center, whatever educational, but we just give them, money. We don't do anything with the curriculum or anything like that. The chief juvenile probation officer does. Yes, ma'am. To the HOP, I think it's, I don't know the exact number. If I remember correctly, I sit on the HOP board. I think if I remember correctly, the county's like 300 something thousand into the HOP. It's very minuscule for the need. So, yeah.
So, get on that board. The HOP to be able to qualify for the federal riders bonus, and they've doubled their office. So what can we do that county like HOP, then that they are bringing content profit?
I think the revenue you might be talking about is from Fort Hood. Well, no, they get a lot of money from Fort Hood. Uh huh.
are there stuff for right.
Okay.
Heights, all the way from.
I'll look into that. I just got appointed to the board. I've only attended 2 meetings, so, but I'll make note of that. Any other questions? Any other questions? Well, thank y'all for coming. It's been, you got a question? No? Okay. Thank y'all for coming. It's been great. I enjoyed spending this time. And please, we have cards back there if you want to shoot me an email. Any ideas that y'all want, I don't mind sharing the requests that we got from the county departments and elected officials. I don't mind sharing the CIP list that we're going to choose from. So if you want any of that information, let me know and we'll share it with you. Thank you.